Good morning, welcome to episode 5 of this Vlogmas series. It's now the 9th of December, which means it's the last single digit of the month. We're getting really close to Christmas and the end of this year, which honestly I'm very excited about. Usually I don't particularly care about the end of the year, but 2020, can we all just forget about it? Yes, please? Today, not much has happened so far. It's nearly 11 in the morning, so it's not as early as I usually start these vlogs, but it's been a really busy morning with work and everything. I think maybe this is better for lighting. But anyway, as I was saying, today not much of an exciting day, with the exception of our delivery at around midday, so in about an hour from now, an hour and a half. In the delivery there's going to be ingredients to make food. And among those there is stuff to make lasagna for Christmas. Now lasagna, you can freeze the lasagna and then put in the oven when needed, and I think that's probably going to be the plan because I work on Christmas Eve, so I'm definitely not going to have time to prepare a Christmas meal on the 24th or on the 25th, and honestly much rather spending it, I don't know, in bed with a hot cup of chocolate or something. So that's one thing, but we're not going to be doing the lasagna today or maybe this week because we still need the casserole dish to make the actual sauce in it. So hopefully the ingredients will stay fresh. If not, they can be frozen and then cooked and then frozen again as a full cooked meal. But the other exciting thing that is in that order is ingredients to make biscuits. And those biscuits I'm talking about are not just any biscuits. They are the biscuits that Anna Newton from the Anna Edit sort of tried to perfect based on the Créme biscuits. Now if you live in London you might have heard of Créme, and it's a fantastic place that makes these beautiful, massive, like they're almost the size of my face, chunky cookies. The two flavours that stay the same during the year are white chocolate and miso, which is fabulous, but I also don't trust myself to play around with miso in a sweet biscuit setting, so that's not happening. And the other one that is the classic that is always there is the milk chocolate and hazelnut, and that's the one that we'll be doing today, with the exception of hazelnuts. I can leave or take hazelnuts, and it's the same, so instead of just putting hazelnuts we are going to put chocolate in it, and that's it. In terms of reading, obviously I'm still reading The Starless Sea. I haven't made much progress actually. Yesterday was a very sort of tiring day, and all I wanted to do was watch YouTubes. On the plus side, I caught up on a lot of Vlogmases, so that's good. On the bad side, I haven't made any progress, so I'm still sort of like first few chapters into the book. Somebody has appeared. She's a cloud! She's a cloud! Are you a cloud? Yes, I love you. She had a bath yesterday. But enough kisses, enough. Look! We need to give her a haircut, bless. What else did I want to say? Not much really, so that's sort of the plan for today. And I do still have those presents that I need to wrap, so I might do that. It might be a slightly, you know, out of the ordinary baking and Christmas wrapping day for me. Hello! The workday is over, so that means that I can finally bake. Honestly, I'm a terrible baker. I've always said I'm a really good cook, but when it comes to baking I'm shit. But I've tested these biscuits once before and they turned out to be alright, so maybe this time they can actually turn out to be just fine. The biscuits are, as I mentioned before, this sort of copy of Créme biscuits. Créme is this independent biscuit place here in London, in Soho. They make these amazing biscuits. And Anna Newton from the Anna Edit sort of tried to recreate the perfect recipe, and she managed to come up with this thing that is very close. I've lined up the ingredients so far, so we've got 200 grams of light brown muscovado sugar mixed already with 100 grams of normal caster sugar. Then I have 225 grams of softened room temperature butter, and here we have 360 grams of self-raising flour with 1 teaspoon of bicarb of soda and half a teaspoon of salt. It's supposed to have some corn flour, like a teaspoon of corn flour. I don't have corn flour, I'm sure we'll survive. And the piece of resistance, a massive Cadbury Dairy Milk bar, which is precisely the amount of chocolate that you need. You need 360 grams of chocolate, and look at this, perfection. So I'm going to be chopping this, and then after that's done, I'll combine the ingredients and show you what happens. But in the meantime, while I chop this, I'm watching, you probably can't see, I am watching Reagan's reading vlog from last week. Yeah, I really enjoy watching her reading vlogs. I really do not share the same taste in terms of books with Reagan, but I do feel really cozy when I watch her vlogs, so that's what I do in my spare time sometimes. But yeah, let's get chopping. Right, so if you hear a crunching noise and you see a bum over there, the crunching noise is my dog chewing her food, and the bum is, guess what, my boyfriend. Oh, who would have thought? Right, so the chocolate has been chopped, and let me zoom out a bit. The chocolate has been chopped, and I've also realised I didn't include in that initial shot 2 medium eggs, which probably should be room temperature, but I've just taken them out of the fridge, so we'll make do with this. But basically what I need to do now is mix the butter and the sugars together until they're creamy and fluffy. Now I do remember last time I made this, I had a little meltdown while doing this thing because it's really hard. I don't have a KitchenAid or one of those electric whiskers. Whisks, yeah. So I've got this, which is really old, and I think one of this comes off when under pressure, so that'll be fun. Right, little baking update. This is what the concoction of sugar and butter looks like. It looks much redder on this camera than it does in real life. I'm not sure what I'm doing. But anyway, it's supposed to be light and fluffy. It's not exactly light, but it is fluffy. So we'll go for this. I've switched to a wooden spoon because this one was just giving me grief. So now what I'm going to do is incorporate 1 egg at a time and mix it all nice and well. And then after that I'll put in the flour concoction, which is right here. And then fine. Crap! No, don't eat it! Okay, I'll clean first. So, disaster averted. Well, not really, but I've cleaned the kitchen floor, and that's the result when you add the eggs in. It doesn't look that different, but if the texture is very different, it's much more fluffy. And now this is all gonna go in, and I'll show you what it looks like before adding the chocolate. We have what looks like cookie dough, but now the most satisfying moment of all. You've all been waiting for this, I know. Oh, look at that. Now mixing will not be as satisfying, it will be hard. Ta-da! So this is what it looks like. The amount of chocolate that goes into this biscuit is insane, but also absolutely right. I mean, if you love chocolate as much as I do, this will be heaven. If you haven't tried them, definitely do try them. I'll leave the recipe down below somewhere. But yeah, so basically what I do now is clean up the mess, because they produce quite a lot of mess. And then after that's done, I'll roll them into balls and then freeze them, because if you freeze them, they taste much, much better. So the kitchen is squeaky clean, and I'm ready to turn this, oh god, it's heavy mess of cookie dough into balls that I'll then proceed to freeze. Now the reason for freezing, I didn't really think there wasn't big logic behind it, but actually it helps. Last time I made them, which was the one and only time I made this biscuits before, I made 3 different batches, or better. I made 1 batch and I divided that into 3 groups. The first one I baked immediately and it was a complete failure. It literally turned into this sort of, ooh, I'm gonna put it away. It literally turned into this sort of almost a pancake for how thin it was. And it just wasn't good at all. It burnt underneath and it was still raw at the top. It was flat. I generally wouldn't recommend doing that. Then the other one we kept in the freezer for about 2.5 hours and it was alright. But then the last one we baked after a few days in the freezer and that was perfect. So this one is going to be a batch. It's going to be divided between a few days. Now next week is my birthday and I don't eat cake, with the exception of cheesecake. Since I have no ability whatsoever to make cheesecake, I shall eat a biscuit and potentially put a candle on top of it. So that's my birthday idea for now. We'll see what else happens. But yeah, I'll shape these into balls and I'll show you what I do. That's all done. The prepping of biscuits is done. They are right here. They're beautiful. There are, how many? 14 biscuits. In theory, the recipe says it makes 12 biscuits, but I always end up making them slightly smaller just because these are going to end up being really, really large anyway. Like, they are massive balls of cookie dough. What I'm going to do now is put some cling film on top and then put them in my freezer, and then maybe we're going to bake 2 tonight if they have enough time to rest, but it's already 7:15, so we'll see. In terms of baking this, I mean, I'll link the recipe down below, but I think they really don't take that long. I think last time I did 200 degrees for 12 minutes or something like that, and they were perfect. But yeah, other thing, when you take them out, let them rest for at least half an hour, just because that way they set a little bit more, because otherwise they're way too gooey. But yeah, so that's the biscuit situation. Look, I'll show you a close up. Come on, this is cookie dough porn. Look how pretty. Well yeah, so that's it. That's the end of this slightly different vlog where I talked really little about books and a lot about biscuits. But I'll definitely include some footage of how the biscuits turn out once they're baked in a separate vlog, because I'm sure these are going to keep us going. These are going to last us for a few days at least. So you'll get to see a bit more of the biscuits. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up for now because I still need to edit and I still need to upload, which is going to take quite some time in order to be ready for 9 AM London time tomorrow morning. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this gave you a little bit of inspiration. Do you like baking? If you do, share down in the comment section your favorite recipes, or whether you enjoy biscuits as much as I do. I'm a cookie biscuit fan. But yeah, thank you very much for watching as usual, and if you feel like you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, that's absolutely fine. Leave it a thumbs down. At least it lets me know what people like or don't like. Thank you very much. Bye!